Hello, Sagittarius. This is your Fuck 2020 tarot reading. Okay? Yeah, let's just call it what it is. It is what it is. So, this is going to be just insight into the rest of the year. 3 cards, past, present, and future. Um, and I did pull these randomly, but my camera tripped for some reason. The video stopped. So, I'm picking up from here. All right. So, your first card, this is the past. This goes back to when the pandemic started, like February, March, early year, January through February. And you have the Queen of Wands, which is really good because fire, of course, is your element. And the Queen of Wands is very confident. She's secure. She, everything is in place as far as she's concerned. And, Sag, you guys can be very confident. You can be uh, not necessarily arrogant, that would be your shadow side. But when I look at this Queen of Wands as your past, I see you heading into your future. Your life is stable financially. Your relationships are good. So you're heading into this event that's turning the world upside down. Um, Very comfortable. You're not worried about anything. So let's look at what's going on in your present. You have a Two of Cups. And this Two of Cups, it does mean marriage or hand. You see they're hand fasting. That's the Wiccan wedding tradition. But it can also mean that you are being vulnerable because this is water. And sometimes Sagittarians, you're all fire and passion, and you keep people at bay. You kind of judge them and you decide whether you want to let them in. So when I see this transition from Queen of Wands or to Two of Cups, I feel like some of you Sags have gone through experiences the past 6 or 7 months that have opened your hearts and made you a little bit vulnerable and made you pause a little bit. So that some of this water energy has sort of, it hasn't put out your fire. Sometimes water can be good with fire. Um, but I feel like this new water energy in your life has sort of opened your hearts up and you're not so quick to dismiss people, or you're learning how to be a little bit more flexible in relationships, especially if you have family, and especially if you've been going through a crisis where a loved one had the virus and you had to take a step back and examine your feelings. So that's a good thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Just because you're fire doesn't mean water is bad. They're just two different elements that can work together in very interesting ways, even though they're opposed to each other. So, what's going on in your future? Whoa, whoa, whoa. 10 of Cups. Okay, more water. Now, usually when I do romantic readings, these cards together mean a soulmate connection. You have the marriage, the hand fasting, and then you have the happy couple with a family, and they're building a life together. And that can certainly be true for a lot of you. Another way of seeing this is that with this Two of Cups and 10 of Cups, it's just, I feel like this crisis has just simply opened your hearts to a deeper understanding of love and trust and allowing yourself to be in a space where you could get hurt, but you don't care. You're comfortable. You're fine with whatever happens. And so it doesn't mean that you haven't suffered tragedy. I would never assume that about anybody. But it's the oracle saying that your journey these past few months have been an internal transformation, not necessarily external. And part of that transformation is about you learning to open your heart and learning to trust and starting to value the relationships in your life that maybe with that Queen of Wands energy you tended to take for granted, right? So That's your journey, Sagittarius. And it might not sound very exciting. I think it is, obviously. But as I said, this I feel like this isn't a journey that was supposed to be earth-shattering or particularly devastating. I think the grieving, you've had to learn to grieve. I definitely feel that. And so, opening our hearts, having a little water, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with showing someone that you feel that you care for them. And I think that's an important thing. I have three Sagittarians in my life, two sisters and one niece. And so, that I'm not touchy-feely, don't waste my time. I feel like this has put you in a position where you've had some um, learning experiences about loving and trusting. And I feel like at the end of the year, um, some of you are going to emotionally be in a much better place. And you may have suffered pain, you might have lost a loved one, but I also feel like some of you have been given a gift to learn how to let your guard down and love in a different way. So that was your reading, and I'm glad to be back. Um, as many of you probably know, the crisis has been really tough on a lot of us, and I think it's good to not force ourselves to always be at the top of our game. Sometimes it's good to just let go, which is what I've had to do these last few months. So I hope you're still doing okay. I hope that if you have lost a loved one, if you have suffered financial loss, because we are headed into a recession, I hope that you have peace and um, somewhere. Hopefully, this reading will help you realize that you will make it through this. Okay, so I wish you love and light, and I intend to see you guys next month. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you on YouTube.